Hello, 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 hello. I just had to turn off my fan there. It's having a personal summer. I know that there are people who can relate to that. So, hello, welcome, 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 welcome again to another opportunity to collaborate with you, to encourage you all to collaborate with each other. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Core for Coaches, and I love me some acronyms. So, Core in our program, in our coach training program, means one thing. Core here means collaborative opportunities. Rising for everyone. That's how you do rising in ASL. I was taught by two of our graduates, Coach KJ and Coach Jamie, that is the word rising. So collaborative opportunities rising for everyone. And I'll share with you that the reason I actually named this LinkedIn Live platform, if you will, for us here at ICLI Rising, the reason I named it Core for Coaches is because I am so committed to coaches collaborating more and more and more and more. You know, I was talking to one of my colleagues, a fellow entrepreneur. She's a coach and a trainer like myself. And we were talking about when we first started our businesses, how our relationship to being an entrepreneur and being in business was one of a scarcity mindset. We had mindsets that said, "Oh my gosh, I got to do all this by myself. I got to learn. I don't even know how to do this, but I have to go learn it by myself. I got to do all this by myself." And I know we were not alone. I know we were not alone because I talked to so many of you, and I know that sometimes you experience that type of mindset. And what I want to encourage you to consider is you're never alone. I'm going to just let that sit for a minute. You're never alone. You're never alone. And if you decide that you want some support around your business, I happen to know thousands of coaches who would show you that you're not alone. And some of our graduates are even willing to work with you on a pro bono basis. So I just want you to know you're not alone, coach. You're not alone, leader. You're not alone, entrepreneur. We've got you. All right. So who am I? And why am I all up in your space? I'm Sophia Casey. I am a master certified coach. I slow down on purpose when I say master certified coach because I'm just so proud of the MCC credential. So I like to slow down when I say it just to honor that credential because it's a big deal. It is a big deal. And I'm very proud to have received my ICF Master Certified Coach credential. And I'm equally proud to be CEO of ICLI Rising, our accredited coach training school, where we get to support even more coaches around becoming associate certified coaches, professional certified coaches. And we're on our way to be able to support coaches who are pursuing their Master Certified Coach MCC credential. So that's me. Wow. And you know what I said I wanted to do today? I want to share some fun facts. I'm going to share a fun fact about me. Will you put a fun fact in the chat about you? I love doing this because you know what it does? It just helps me get to know you a little better. So that's my question. Share a fun fact, or that's my request rather. Share a fun fact about you. Thank you so much for being here. I think it's Kasha. And if I said that wrong, let me know. Ooh, MSW. I want to know more about those three letters behind your name. So thank you so much for being here. So yeah, I want to know a fun fact about you. Okay, so here's a fun fact about me that I've shared in a few spaces. And people sometimes are surprised, and sometimes I think people don't believe me. So here's a fun fact about me. Denzel Washington. You do know Denzel, the Denzel Washington, right? You know, that actor, that award-winning actor who has that perfect swag walk down. So the Denzel Washington actually played in a movie about my high school. What? Yes, the Denzel Washington played in a movie. He actually played my high school principal, George McKenna. And I am so grateful for that fun fact. And so people have asked me, well, why would they do a movie about your school? Because I went to a very, very, did I say very, very tough high school. And I actually asked my mom to let me go to that very, very tough high school because I knew that there was going to be a new principal who was leading that high school, who was so committed to his work, so committed to the community, so committed to students actually fulfilling upon their goals and their dreams. And so I wanted to follow him. And I'm grateful that I did because I haven't that all of that led to me being right here. So shout out to all those people on the West Side. Okay. All right. So what are we talking about today? Thank you for being here again. What we're talking about today, we're going to continue our conversation around the ICF Core Competencies. I'm loving the DMs. I'm loving the DMs. Please keep sending me private messages. I really appreciate it. I love your questions. And of course, you can put them right here in the comments as well. So we've already covered core competency number 1 around the ethical standards. We covered core competency number 2. Who remembers what core competency number 2 is? Okay, embodying a coaching mindset. It's one of my favorite. That's so nerdy, right? How can you have a favorite core competency? Whatever, don't judge me. So core competency number 2 embodies a coaching mindset. We also talked about the importance of core competency number 3, which is establishes and maintains agreements. And we talked about going beyond just agreement in terms of the contracting, that definition around agreement meaning contracting. We talked about partnership. We talked about being clear. The coach is clear, the client is clear about what it is that the client actually wants to achieve in the coaching session. So we got to talk about core competency 1, 2, 3. Which one am I forgetting? Core competency number 4. We talked about trust and safety. That was such a great conversation. That's where I got the most DMs from you all. So clearly something was stirred up for you all too. Oh my gosh. And I got this wonderful message from a coach that said, I want to make sure I don't give her confidences away. I'll say it this way, that she has recommitted to pursuing her ICF coaching credential. So, when I read that, I'm like, okay. So, some great things happened from this Core for Coaches. So I'm grateful for that. So let me just check in again, okay, before I get started, because I only have a few minutes with you. Okay, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, say cachet. Did I get it right that time? Let's see. She says, I'm addicted to school and I don't do meetings at certain times unless food. I know that's right. Unless food is a part of the invitation. Wonderful. Then I'm extra happy that you're here. Okay, and she said I got her name right. What? Look at me. All right. So today we're gonna dive in just a little bit, like just put our pinky toe in the water, if you will, around the next core competency, which is all about maintaining presence. Maintaining presence. And I want to be clear that when we talk about maintaining presence, I am not talking about, the ICF is not talking about simply physical presence. And so I hear that a lot in our coach training school. I hear it a lot with the coaches that I mentor when they hear maintains presence, that they stop the definition at only meaning physical presence. It certainly does mean that. The ICF certainly expects us as coaches to be physically present with our clients. But it goes a little deeper than that. It goes a little bit deeper than that. And what would you say, why is presence even important? Why are we talking about presence in the coaching world or in this coaching industry? I'm going to give you just a few moments to percolate on that while I check in. Excuse me, while I check in. So, maintaining presence. Why is that even important? Right? I could have come and talked to you about basket weaving. What is important, or what are the benefits as you see it? Because I know you all know a lot about these core competencies. What is the benefit of maintaining presence? What would you say? All right, and then I'll check in. Yes. So maintaining presence is super, super important because the ICF's definition goes beyond just the physical part. So, of course, it's a benefit to the client for you to physically be present. You are there physically in the coaching session, in the coaching room, right? On Zoom, present on the phone with your client. So, absolutely, that's important. But it goes beyond simply paying attention. I like to think about presence in this coaching work that we do, and also presence in leadership development, too. I like to think about presence in terms of going beyond just paying attention and actually having it mean staying grounded. So, continuing to be present throughout the coaching conversation or throughout the conversation with your team member. So I just want you to just take that into consideration. And I know we're going to put it here too, that presence goes beyond paying attention. It also includes being grounded in the conversation. Okay. So it goes beyond paying attention, and it actually also means staying grounded in the conversation. So I wanted to offer you that. It also means being flexible, being flexible, being able, if the client wants to go over here, now they're talking about purple poodle grooming salons, then they want to go over here. First, when they came to the coaching session, they said they wanted support around X, Y, and Z. Then about halfway through, they changed their mind and they're like, well, I'm good with that. I actually want more support with the time that we have left, Coach Sophia. I want more support around this. Are we willing to be flexible in that conversation, to expect the conversation to ebb and flow? Are we committed to flowing with the client too? Oh, I like that. I like that. Sometimes our training in our coach training school, and I always, not sometimes, always get something for myself. And I just got something for myself right then. Flow. So I'm just going to ask you to put that, my team to put that word in the chat for me. Flow. That's a good way to remember presence in this coaching work. Am I flowing? Am I flowing with the client? Or am I leading? Am I telling the client, let's go over here? That word let's gets us in trouble. Let's go over here. Let's do this. How about you take some deep breaths right now? Am I leading or am I flowing and following the client? Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. So staying grounded, being flexible, being connected, and of course, the physical presence. Okay. Now I want to offer you, I'm going to check in with you first. I get so wrapped up. I get so caught up. Okay, I see the word flow in the chat. Thank you. Let's see here. I see another message that says, present is a healthy way to ground in your decisions. Yes. So that's why I love these Core for Coaches conversations, because as I say all the time, these conversations and what I bring to you or what I'm offering to you is not just for coaches. It's for leaders. And when I say leaders, I'm not just talking about supervisors or managers or, the group that I work with, C-suite executives. I relate to everybody as a leader. So these conversations are not just for the coaches, but they're also for you around the leadership part of you. So thank you for putting that in the chat. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to move a little further. So I want to give you an example. Actually, this happened today. Whew. So I had two really tough conversations really tough conversations this morning with two coaches. And these two coaches, let's just say they've been having a really challenging time around what I would call staying present, not just in their coaching work, but staying present in their personal lives too. And as I'm in those conversations, the conversations start to get very emotional, um, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional. One of the conversations actually got very hot, if you will. Like it was a lot of feelings and emotions. And I was able to use my coaching skills even in those conversations, even though I was not coaching them, right? They just reached out to me about getting some support, but not coaching support. But because I'm trained and I received my training from an ICF accredited coach training school, I understand the importance and the value and the gift it is to be able to be with people and hold space and meet them right there where they are. So, excuse me, if I was wearing my consulting hat, I probably would have immediately jumped in and started trying to help them and figure it out. No, probably would have told them, right? Who are my fixers out there? So I probably would have told them like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. But the Holy Spirit said, Sophia, nope. Because first of all, Sophia, this is not about you. This is about her. This is about that person. So how about you just sit back, give some space, hold the container, and allow some silence from over here. And I am so grateful that I got that divine download, because what happened in both conversations afterwards blew my mind. I'll share a little bit about one conversation. So let's just say at the beginning of the conversation, the person started from this place here. I can't see any possibility. It'll never work. Just really, really in their stuff. The saboteurs were just showing up, showing up. So, right. But just to give space, what could have happened if I would have jumped right in, right, and start trying to fix this person, start giving suggestions and advice and all this stuff, is that could have cut off the space that person needed to get the awareness that they later got in the conversation. And I will look, in all transparency, I will tell you, sometimes it is challenging for me to be with people when they're peopling. I happen to people also, all right? But when people are peopling, sometimes it is challenging. But because of my training, and we talk about this a lot in our coach training programs, we know, and we're trained as coaches to hold space. I have structures in place in my life that remind me, Sophia, right now, this is not about you, right? Said a not so pretty way. Right now, this is all their stuff. This is their stuff. And the way for you to be most supportive right now, as they're all up in their stuff and they're peopling and the saboteurs are literally turning cartwheels and just showing all the way out, the way that you could be most supportive, Sophia, as a leader, as a mentor coach, as a friend, as a confidant, is to do this. And I'll give you a little tip of something that I do. Look, I hadn't planned. Every time I come here, I'm always giving you all bonuses, okay? But I'll give you this little bonus. Something that I do when I find myself challenged by wanting to fix, wanting to suggest, wanting to give advice, right? Or just wanting to talk a lot. Sometimes what I do, I literally take these instruments, I take them and I put them under my legs. And I literally sit on my hands because that's an immediate reminder for me, Sophia, lean back. Because even to put my hands under my voluptuous thighs, I have to actually lean back. And again, that's an immediate reminder for me that, Sophia, all your job is right now is to hold space. Your job right now is just to be with their emotions, just to be with it. Okay, so is this conversation supportive of you? Like I said, I'm such a geek for the core competencies. So now what I want to share with you, for ICF Core Competency number 5, maintains presence, I want to share with you just a few key elements of coaching presence. So what should you be looking for as you're coaching, thinking about as you are preparing for a coaching session? I just want to give you a few things to consider, okay? And I know my team will also put this in the chat so you have it. If you're watching on the replay, will you please let me know that? Just put the word replay. If you watch this later on the replay, I would really appreciate it. So number one key element of coaching presence is emotional regulation, just like I just described. So when my colleague came into the space, right, with all this energy, upset, lots of emotion, and emotion isn't just crying. A lot of times coaches think emotion is just crying, or we think emotion just means crying. No, have you all ever seen an emotion wheel? And if you want an emotions wheel, we're happy to give it to you. Just put wheel, WHEEL, in the chat, and we'll make sure we send you the one that we use. So there are tons of emotions that a person can have, right, in a coaching session. So with emotional regulation, what are we talking about here? We are saying that the expectation is that you, the coach, the leader, always talking about leaders too, you, the coach, you remain calm. So as this colleague who was talking to me was lots of high energy, lots of emotions. I mean, I imagine they ticked off a few emotions on that emotions wheel. But angry, I also heard a lot of fear. And so I wanted to make sure that I reminded myself, Sophia, stay calm, stay centered, stay right here, stay present, stay grounded. Another tip, another way that I ground myself sometimes right there in the moment, if I'm sitting at my desk and I'm having a meeting with someone, let's just say something triggers me. Sometimes what I do, I literally will kick my shoes off under the desk. You can't see that right now. I'll kick off my red bottom stilettos under my desk, and I just have my bare feet touch the floor. And sometimes that is an instantaneous way for me to just go, ground myself. I also do what I just did, which was to take some deep breaths. Just take some deep breaths. So emotional regulation, I want you to consider that is a very big part of embodying presence. Okay, embodying. And remember, we also want to maintain presence throughout the coaching session. Okay, even when you're triggered. So now, in one of the conversations, there was something that my colleague said that actually reminded me of another situation. And so I noticed I was starting to get like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to hear about this. Sophia, it's not about you. It's not about you. And even though I felt not so much trigger, but like, like I'm not so sure I want to be a part of this conversation, just to take some deep breaths, kick off my wonderful stilettos, ground myself, stay calm, and remind myself that this space is about this other person. Okay, so that's number one, emotional regulation. Number two, if you're ready for number two, just put the number 2 in the comments. Just put the number 2 in the comments. Oh, and I can't wait to read your messages. I see some great messages there. Number two, I'm going to go really quickly, and then I'll check in with you all too. Number two is adaptability. So as a mentor coach, as a coach trainer, as an assessor of your demonstration of the ICF Core Competencies, one of the things I talk about, support you around, is around adaptability. Ask yourself, do I actually embody that adaptability? And what do we mean by that? That is where you're able to let go of the plan to follow what's alive in the session. What does that mean? I'm going to say it a different way. That is your ability to, first of all, let go of any plans that you have. Okay, right? Because it's not about you. To let go of any plans and also be able to be flexible. So like I said earlier, if the client comes in and they're like, no, I specifically want to talk about this, and then later they change, oh, well, actually, I really want support around that. Are you adaptable? Can you adapt to this new coaching request, if you will, or this new topic? Can you adapt? Also, I think about adaptability in terms of even before the coaching session. So even before the coaching session or before you walk into a meeting, what could you do so that you are so sourced, you are so ready to be present in this new space that you're walking in? How can you adapt so that you are ready to be present, a part of this new space? I would love to know from you all, how do you all ground yourself? What do you do? So the way that I was able to adapt to this new space called going live on LinkedIn is I played music. You can ask my team. They know I will play music. Sometimes it goes anywhere from gospel to gangster rap because music really sources me. Okay, so number three, and then I know I gotta wrap up. Number three is attunement. And what do we mean by that? It is picking up on body language, tone, energy, not just the words. So as I review a lot of coaching calls, sometimes I can hear the client saying something without using words. Sometimes I could hear it, even though I can't see them. Can you hear body language? Ooh. So I want you to think about that. Part of being present as a coach means that I am so attuned to this conversation and to this client. I am connected to this other person heart to heart that I notice body language. I notice when they say I'm fine, and every time they say I'm fine, they look down, or every time they say, yeah, I'm okay, there's like a little twitch. Did you notice? Did you notice the intonation, their voice? When they say I'm fine, they say I'm fine. Did you notice their energy? All right. So I know I got to wrap up. I'm telling you, I could be here with you all day, all day, as our coach training school graduates can tell you. I really, really love this work. I'm so grateful to step into your space. I'm grateful that you allow me to step into your space every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I will be here. So what you have to look forward to, another core competency. So I'll be back with you next week to talk about core competency number 6. Ooh, do you know which one that is? All right. And again, if you desire support, if you know that you could use some support of a coach, just some sacred, safe, and trusting space where you can share your dreams, where you can share what's getting in the way of you fulfilling upon those dreams, we've got you covered. You only need to reach out to us at iclirising.com and we'll set you up with a coach. See ya! Thank you, coach leaders. Thank you, leader coaches. Until next time, be well.